is called Student of Concern, and it's a letter written in the perspective of Palestinian youth. But by the by, I'm actually not Palestinian, so no, it's like right across the border in Syria, but it's all good. But anyway, this piece, it's all good. Basically, it parallels a lot to Detroit's life. So you'll see like issues of foreclosures and demolition, and so on, basically. So, to whom it may concern. This letter that I write urgently is in regards to the greatest landslide of mankind's history. I write in the name of a nation of zombies, never winning their freedom from the colonial oppressors' atrocities. It is directed to those with eyes that see, ears that hear, mouths that speak, minds that think, but mostly for those with hearts that truly feel. Today, my house was broken into, not by robbers, though they did snatch away my hopes and dreams that I pursued. The infamous they decided to trample on my life, leaving everything in disarray, like a storm just passed through. I was asleep. Just before my morning prayers, when all of a sudden an explosion flayed the outer wall and broke through the layers of cement, wood, tiles, and bricks. Through layers of family, love, home. You know, the specifics. I was jolted awake, barely able to ignite the wick of the candle in my room to see electricity has been out. Left without light, without water, without my little brother shout echoed from somewhere within the house. I ran out into the hall and saw a soldier like a tiger ready to pound tea. Looked me up and down, tossed his head to the side, not 1 ounce of empathy as he held his rifle pointed at me, positioned. They came, just like my neighbors had predicted for the house demolition. My gaze shifted to the dust rising, a hole in the wall with blood splattered. My brother's voice forever ceased from his incessant chatter, wiping the tears from my eyes that seemed to spill like an uncontrollable bladder line. I took off, running down the hall from my mother, stalled in fright, seeing bruises color her face and swollen stomach, and unwelcome sight. My eyes tried to see my father being dragged away, led to the executioner's block. I followed until a soldier grabbed my arm and told me to stop. I clung. He presses. I jerk. He stresses. I scream. He hisses. I didn't know what to do. These soldiers just made my whole life come unglued. My father's being detained, my mother in a frozen state, my brother's life a sealed state, feeling puzzled, like the pieces will never fall into place. A week later, I look around and thank God for my luck. His grace, moths took us in as our house was paved to the ground, all of our belongings unsaved. I watched my mother make tea for all those supported within their minds, grave, damage control. She called it therapeutic for those with hearts to mend, to be laid within the sacred sanctuary, but the kettle surround the clang of in echoes. I was about to ask what happened when a pool of water surrounded her legs. I knew. I stood flabbergasted reality. I thought to help my mother goes in the fetal position, cramping, hurting, contracting, screaming, stuck in the trance. The whole neighborhood was forced to load it. She was loaded into a makeshift ambulance. Like a turtle on speed, I ran as the car came slowly through traffic and came to a standstill. Cars, bikes, people, all the place. The day of judgment upon us as we wait at the checkpoint landfill, the hospital, just beyond the threshold, the vintage point, feeling like I'm trying to push through glass sliding doors, but they won't disjoint. Seeing my definition torn by being restrained under the invisible hand. 3 hours passed, 6 hours, 4 hours, 6 hours until I could no longer stand. Waiting, I ran to the van and took a peek at my mom again. She lay unmoving, not even her chest rising and falling, blood everywhere. And I knew they left me to fend for myself, spirited away into a world so often spoken about, but thought of as an epic novel sitting on the highest shelf. My family ripped from me, not knowing what to do with the cards dealt. Today, I lurked in the streets with others like me, living in a world of death, war, of constant uncertainty. I watched as tanks drive through the streets, children throwing rocks, freedom fighters in the making, that labeled terrorists and searched by people who have no idea what we face daily. around anyone with a fate similar to me. Family killed off with no logical reasoning, being stripped of my ethnic identity, being associated with religious extremism, no possible amnesty, while the world tacitly agrees, pointing and laughing, reclining in their lazy white couches, our shadows are cast as something untouchable, our lives unworthy, equivalent to trash being flushed out of our homes and space confined. I write to remind you of how our lives are defined, how families are destroyed and claiming the will of the divine. It's like the world is suffering from selective memory loss. Palestinian struggle, not at their cost. My life and others like me left to suffer from the aftermath of the erosion of humanity, being led as lambs for slaughter. We don't want your sympathy, but action. Since I don't want to be one more statistic on the death toll daily, you have all the excuses, stigmatizing from providing an honest answer when every member of my village is another, and frank every day of rejuvenation of the Holocaust and its stakes. All I'm asking is this. Educate yourself instead of forming conditioned opinions. Stop covering up bad rap with tic-tacs because onions will overpower its stakes with its self-esteem. The neck of pride must be snapped. All your stereotypes need to be recapped. Stop avoiding us from our mother's wombs and pretending our practice by these and unspacious tombs. Learn nothing from only a box house because something must be done. I write this letter so that freedom can be sung at the highest volume through children with healthy lungs, rather than killing us off like chickens our necks wrung. I write this so that whoever it may come across will be stung with the remedial injection of empathy, action, clarity, and passion. Sincerely yours, statistic number 369 of the Palestinian death toll for the year 2009.